श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मुक्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So we're looking at verse number 29. अर्थम अनर्थम भावय नित्यम नास्ति ततः सुखलेशः सत्यम पुत्रादपि धन भाजां भीतिः सर्वत्र एषा विहिता रीति. So here he talks about the exaggerated value that people have for money. Well, so money is necessary, but generally we have an exaggerated value, more than what is necessary. So earlier verse, he talked about how pleasure seeking only leads to disease later. Sukata kriyate rama bhogaha paschadante sharire rogaha yadyapi loke maranam sharanam tadapi na munchati papacharanam. So pleasure seeking, it might be enjoyable at the moment. So any sensual pleasure. So it might be enjoyable right now. It may give instant stimulation, gratification. But eventually it only exhausts you, it only leads to disease. See, that is the truth of every pleasure. So any sensory overload of the eyes, any sensory overload of the ears, so or tongue, taste. So any sensory overload only exhausts you, tires you out. So the need is to be balanced with the use of sense organs. So too much pleasure seeking eventually ends up in disease. You neither retain the pleasure, the happiness that you get from the pleasure, nor do you retain your health, you only lose your health. So paschadante sharire rogaha. But still people don't reduce this craving for pleasure. So he laments, yadyapi loke maranam sharanam tadapi na munchati papacharanam. So, but still people by hook or crook are seeking pleasure all the time. And then one of the ways to get pleasure is through money. So sensory pleasure, so you can buy with money. So money can never give you peace of mind. In fact, more money, less peace of mind. That's what he says here. So if you have more money, then peace of mind is inversely proportional to the amount of money you have. So people tend to think that it is directly proportional. So I have money, then I'm sorted. So I'm taken care of for life. So people generally think like that. So that is an exaggerated value for money. So here he says artham, anartham. So money, artham, is actually detrimental. So artham, anartham, bhavaya nityam. So you only need what you require for a reasonably comfortable life. Bhavaya nityam. So always contemplate on this fact. Always contemplate on this truth. Nasti tataha sukha lesha satyam. So there is not even an iota of sukha. He says sukha lesha. There is not even an iota. Iota of sukha, that is the truth. That is satyam. So here truth means fact. So that is the fact. That there is no pleasure in wealth. There is no happiness in wealth. Nasti tataha sukha lesha satyam. On the contrary, it only brings in fear. So you have money, then you have the necessity to protect it. You protect it, and you have to. You have to protect it even from one's own children. Because if it is inherited money, then children also have an equal right. Then children even go to the extent of grabbing it by hook or crook. So putradapi dhana bhajam bhitihi. So for people who have a lot of ancestral wealth, or even money they have earned, so children think they have a right over their parents' money. So they want to grab it as fast as possible. So putradapi dhanabhajam bhitihi sarvatra esha vihita riti. So this is the truth everywhere. Or if not from your children, you have to protect it, secure it from other people. You have to invest it. So there is so much time, so there is so much effort spent in doing all of that. So might as well use it more productively. So this is not to say that you should not share your wealth. So as I said, some people, they just refuse to give also. So, but have a healthy attitude towards money. So that is what is said here. So not having an exaggerated wealth. So generally the idea is to be happy, you need just a roof over your head, some good clothes to wear, and food. So food for taking care of your biological needs. So that is how Shankaracharya also lived his life. So he was just walking from place to place, for not caring about wealth or money. But then if you are really sincere, then you are taken care of. So that is the assurance also. So you are definitely taken care of. In fact, one gets much more than what one requires. So that is how it always is. So then we'll move to the next verse. verse number 30. So this verse talks about Antaranga Sadhana. So earlier I said, there was one verse which talked about Bahiranga Sadhana. So Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram, Geyam Shripati Rupamajasram, Neyam Sajjana Sange Chittam, Deyam Dina Janaya Cha Vitta. So studying the Bhagavad Gita or chanting the Bhagavad Gita or the Sahasranama. So Dheyam Gita Nama Sahasram, Dhyayam Shripati Rupamajasram, and then meditating on the form of your preferred deity. And then Neyam Sajjana Sange Chittam, seek the company of wise people. And then share, and then share your wealth with people who are less fortunate, people who are helpless. So Deyam Dina Janaya Chivittam. And in this verse, he's going to talk about Antaranga Sadhana. That is all Bahiranga Sadhana, external means or external ways of doing sadhana. So these are what he's going to talk here are internal sadhana. So we'll read the verse first. Pranayamam pratyaharam nitya viveka vicharam japya sameta samadhi vidhanam Purvavadhanam mahadavadhanam Pranayamam pratyaharam nitya viveka vicharam Japya sameta samadhi vidhanam Purvavadhanam mahadavadhanam Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. So first he says pranayama. So breathing exercises. So breathing exercises are helpful because it helps calm down the mind. So pranayama. So the mind and breathing, they are like two branches. So when one of the branches is shaking vigorously, both of them are connected. Both the branches are connected. One of them is shaking vigorously, which is the mind, which is restless. Then you use breathing to calm down the mind. So focus on the breathing. So that is why it is recommended a lot. When you focus on the breathing, naturally the distractions of the mind reduce. So there are different kinds of pranayama. So simple pranayama is good enough. So there are other varieties. So the Yoga Shastra recommends different kinds of pranayama. So some have other uses also, like cooling down the body, heating up the body. So different pranayama for different purposes. So here just Anuloma Viloma pranayama is good enough. So inhaling through one nostril and then exhaling through the other. And then inhaling through the other nostril, exhaling through the first one. So that pranayama, he says practice pranayama because it helps calm down the mind. So again, not as an end in itself, but a calm mind is useful for the study of the Shastra. So that is the main idea. So pranayama. And then pratyahara. So pratyahara would be restraint of these organs of sense organs and organs of action. Mainly sense organs, pratyahara. See, ahara means food. So because the sense organs are always going outward, so they are seeking some pleasure or the other. So pleasure is like food because you want to keep eating to keep you satiated. So pratyahara means prati ahriyate iti pratyahara. So that you stop the sense organs from excessively going outward. So pratyahara, more of what we call dhamma. So shama would be restraint of the mind. So pranayama helps in shama, and dhamma restraint of the sense organs from the sense objects. So instead of craving or restlessly seeking, you restrain the mind. He says, practice this. So if you think you are unavoidably attracted towards something, then stop yourself from craving for that. So people can have different cravings. So then stop yourself. So whether it is the eyes or ears or any sense organ for that matter. So here he says spend time on pratyahara. So one of the steps in the Ashtanga also, yama niyama asana pranayama pratyahara, and then dharana dhyana samadhi. So here he says pratyahara. In fact, he mentions a lot of, he doesn't mention yama niyama asana. So from pranayama, he mentions the other steps of Ashtanga. First pranayama, then pratyahara, and then he says nitya viveka vicharam. So spend your time on discriminating between what is real and what is not real. What is real and what is imagined by you. What is imagined by my own mind. So the world of my own creation. There is a world outside. Objectively, there is one. But the way I interact with that world is through the world I have created in my own mind. Because I have my own likes and dislikes. So I don't deal with the world objectively as is ideal. So I deal with the world based on my own likes and dislikes. So here he says nitya anitya viveka vicharam. So spend your time on viveka. Is this really worth it? So many activities that I do the activity after considering whether it's really worth it. Because a lot of time I do so many things without really thinking about them. So without really considering whether they are worth it. Like even when you're browsing the internet. So there are so many articles, so many news articles, so many things from so many places. So if you don't do this viveka, then you'll just get lost. I mean, you can be browsing for hours together. And most of it is just wasted. So before reading an article, consider whether it's really worth my time. Because once you get into the internet, then it's very difficult to get out of it. So here he says Nitya Anitya Viveka Vichara. So every activity, the smallest activity. So this is why Buddhist practice of mindfulness is very helpful. So even when they walk, so they do it deliberately. They do everything deliberately. Nothing is done mechanically. Whole life we live mechanically. But Buddhists, even for turning, so they will do it very deliberately, very slowly. So nothing is done without thinking. So here he says Nitya Anitya Viveka Vicharam. Kuru. Always, always think about what is Nitya and what is Anitya. Inquire into what is Nitya and Anitya. Even the lifestyle we lead, the job we do. So whether it is all worth it in the long run. So how useful is it going to be? See, Anitya means every joy that you get, it all evaporates. If the joy that you get out of any activity evaporates, you are not able to retain it, then that activity is not worth much. So you may get a good salary at the end of the month. But then time keeps passing. So it keeps going so fast. And by the time you're 60 or so, there is nothing retained with you. 60, 65. Whole life you've been doing something, but at 60, 65, it is you're still the same unhappy person, lot of regrets, and not satisfied with what you've done. So certain things you cannot control. Even those that you can control, that also you don't retain anything, whatever you have done. So here he says Nitya Anitya Viveka Vicharam Karo. So spend time on inquiring into what is long lasting and what is momentary. And then Japya Sameta Samadhi Vidhanam. So Japya Sameta. So along with chanting some mantra, japa, leading to samadhi. So samadhi here is one-pointedness of the mind. So chanting of the mantra, it helps on a regular basis. So you chant a mantra and then pause and chant again and then pause and then chant again. So when you keep coming back to the same mantra, then the distractions of the mind slowly reduce over time. So the same thing is encouraged by Lord Krishna also in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So japa, so japya sameta samadhi vidhana. So over a period of time, the mind calms down. So spend time on this. So these are this take up a lot of time. Pranayama takes time. So pratyahara also, there is a lot of effort, need to spend time. And then nitya anitya viveka vicharam, inquiry takes time. And then japya sameta samadhi vidhanam. So doing japa for a certain period every day, so that it gets into your routine. So japya sameta samadhi vidhanam. Kuru avadhanam mahad avadha. So perform with great care. With great care. So do all of this with great care. Don't fritter away. So don't let time pass by and then regret later. So this is what, in fact, generally, we do a lot of things, a lot of these things recommended here. So we try to do them to bring more success. But here, this is not meant for being successful at all. In fact, people do pranayama more from the standpoint of physical health. So, or mental health, so that it can help you concentrate more or achieve more. So here, these recommendations are primarily from the standpoint of a spiritual aspirant. So not from the standpoint of a person who wants a worldly success, who wants a relative success. So not from that standpoint. Usually, that is how people look at a lot of yoga practices also. So from the standpoint of being successful outside. So here it is for Chitta Shuddhi and then Ekagrata. So that is the main idea behind these suggestions. Pranayamam pratyaharam nitya anitya viveka vicharam japya sameta samadhi vidhanam purvavadhanam mahadavadhanam. In fact, a lot of these are also helpful for the mental well-being. So we talk nowadays a lot about mental health. So when a person does not have the right attitude, have the right priorities, the first thing that suffers is one's mental health. So you want to be successful, you want to have good mental health to be successful. They are like self-contradictory. So if you want to be successful, then you have to drive yourself, push yourself. Then that primarily leads you towards stress and anxiety. And then you want mental health. First, you want to spoil your mental health and then work for mental health. So spoil your mental health by mindlessly being in the rat race. And then work for mental health so that you can be more successful in the rat race. So that is how we look at generally. Generally, we look at mental health. But here, mental health is for primarily calming down the mind. So making the mind more composed and peaceful, at peace with itself. So these are all looked at primarily only from that standpoint. So even giving up unnecessary desires, they all contribute towards mental health. So not growing out of desires, not suppressing, growing out of desires. So they contribute towards mental health. So here this can also be taken to mean right mental health for a peaceful life. So Kuru Avadhanam Mahad Avadhanam. So do it with a lot of care. Mahad Avadhanam with great care. Because pranayama also has to be done carefully, not rushed or not in a hurried way. Everything, pratyahara, vichara, japa. So all of this, do it with a lot of care. Then, so last verse number 31. So here he talks about surrendering to one's teacher, because this cannot be done without the help of a teacher. So it's impossible to progress on one's own self-study. So here he says, Guru Charanam Bhuja Nirbhara Bhaktaha Samsaragachirat Bhava Muktaha Sendriya Manasa Niyama Devam Drakshasi Nija Hridayastham Devam. So Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. So he says, Guru Charanam Bhuja Nirbhara Bhakta. So one who is greatly devoted to serving the Guru. So Guru Charana Ambuja Nirbhara Bhakta. Ambuja Nirbhara Bhakta. So because teacher is most essential in progressing in one's spiritual journey, that person samsarat achirat bhava mukta. So that person immediately gets freed from the clutches of samsara. So like there is a story in the Chandogya Upanishad. So there is this person who is from Gandhara. Gandhara means now Afghanistan. So previously Afghanistan was supposed to have been part of the Indian subcontinent. So that is where Duryodhana's mama Shakuni and Duryodhana's mother also. So she is supposed to have come from Gandhara. So there is no connection between Mahabharata and this story. But again, this person was supposed to have been from Gandhara. And then the story is very symbolic. So the person is kidnapped from Gandhara and then blindfolded. And he is dispossessed of all his belongings and left in the middle of a forest. Hands are tied. So in the middle of a forest, so they just leave him and go away. And he starts shouting, so please save me, help, help, save me. So because there is no other option for him. So after he is crying for some time, then some person happens to hear his cry for help, and then reaches him, comes near him. So then unties his hand and removes the blindfold and then asks him, "Who are you? Where are you from?" Then this person says, "I am from Gandhara and I want to go back to go back home. But I don't know. So I'm completely lost here. I don't know where I am. So I want to go back home." So this person knows the route, and then he tells them, he guides them. So you have to go in this direction, and then you will have these landmarks, and then you will reach your place. So this story is told symbolically to explain the work of a teacher. So the Chandogya Upanishad says the blindfolded person is like a normal human being. So the person is completely lost in this madness. So what to do? Why am I here? And then what am I supposed to be doing here? And what is the right thing to do? And how I should not waste my time? Where did I come from? So earlier, also he asked all these questions. Kastvam koham kuta ayataha kame janani kometataha. So this person is completely confused. So then this person wants a solution for this problem of samsara. So this also not everyone seeks a solution, but there are some people who feel helpless and they seek a solution. And then when you are crying out loud, when you are sincerely seeking, so then the Shastra says that the Guru presents himself. And then he resolves your confusion. He destroys your confusion. And then tells you the purpose of your life here, what you should be doing here, and then how to get there, how to reach the destination also. So the blindfold symbolizes one's being completely lost. And then first removes the blindfold. And then first says that don't worry, there is a way out. I know the way. So that is the job of a guru. So the need for a guru is mentioned very strongly in so many places. So in the fourth chapter, Bhagavad Gita also. So Lord Krishna says, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. So tadvidhi pranipatena. So know, seek to know yourself by surrendering to the teacher. Pariprashnena, and also asking the right questions. And sevaya, by serving the teacher. Upadekshanti te jnanam. So wise people, so they will then teach you. Jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. People who know the truth. So the Mundaka Upanishad is also another Upanishad. So that Upanishad says, Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmano nirvedamayat na asti akritaha kritena tad vijnanartham saha gurumeva abhigachet samit panihi shrotriyam brahmanishti. So after finding the futility of all activity, So activity not leading anywhere. So that's in the first line. Tad vijnanartham saha gurumeva abhigachet shrotriyam brahmanishtam. Samit Pani. So then you approach a teacher. Parikshya lokan. The first line is Parikshya lokan karma chitan brahmanaha nirvedamaya. So having realized that this mindless activity is not going anywhere. Na asti akritaha kritena. Then you go to a guru shrotriyam brahmanishtam. So shrotriya brahmanishta guru. Samit Pani. Tad vijnanartham saha gurumeva abhigachet samit panihi shrotriyam brahmanishtam. So also offer whatever you can to the teacher and then ask for this knowledge. So shrotriyam brahmanishtam. And then the Chandogya Upanishad again says Acharyavan Purushaha Veda. One who has the right teacher necessarily gets to know. So you have that attitude, and then you go to the right teacher. Then the Shastra says that there is no way you will not get it. So the teacher will make you see it. So you don't have to worry about it. So you can just go and relax there. So relax means not sleep. So you can relax with the confidence that you will be taken in the right direction. So that is why here also he says Guru Charanam Bhuja Nirbhara Bhaktaha. So one who is completely devoted to the lotus feet of a guru. So that is an expression, usual expression. So Guru's feet cannot be made of lotus. So, but generally it's a figurative expression, lotus feet of the teacher. So lotus, because nothing sticks on a lotus. Because it is naturally very smooth and then doesn't allow anything to stick. So Guru also, so he is free from attachment. So that is why lotus feet of a Guru, Nirbhara Bhaktaha, Samsarat Achirat Bhava Muktaha. So you will be freed from this samsara in no time. Achirat means in no time. Immediately. Achirat Bhava Mukta. Immediately means it will take its time. So it is not like some magic, but still it will happen eventually. So samsarat achirat bhava mukta. Sendriya manasa niyama devam. So Sendriya manasa niyama. So through the discipline of the sense organs and the mind. So you will get it immediately if you have the discipline. So if you are already qualified. Otherwise, it will take some time. So until you get the qualification. So Sendriya Manasa Niyama Devam Drakshyasi Nija Hridayastham Deva. So you will see the truth very clearly as being present in your own heart. So that's a kind of meditation. So meditating on the Atma being present in the heart. So it is an upasana. So because the heart is the most important organ to keep you alive. So that is why the Atma is meditated as being present in the heart. So if the heart stops, then story over. So that's why it is meditated as being present in the space within the heart. So there is a upasana called the Daharakasha Vidya. So Daharakasha. So in the space within the heart, it is supposed to be of the size of one's thumb. So these are all visualizations for meditation. So drakshyasi nija hridayastam. So you will see the truth as being present inside your own heart. You will not have to go anywhere. So you will have to just look inside, look within, and you will see it. So nija hridayastam devam. So this is so with this the Bhaja Govindam is over. So finally finishes with the necessity of surrendering to a guru. So the first verse is Bhaja Govindam, which is repeated again and again. From 2 to 13, 12 verses. Suppose they are supposed to have been composed by Shankaracharya. And 14 to 27, 14 verses. They are supposed to have been composed by each of his disciples, one of his disciples. We don't know how far it is true, but still it is attributed like that. And then from 28 to 31. So 4 verses, Shankaracharya is supposed to have summarized again. So from 28, so he summarizes the teaching of the Bhaja Govindam. So verse number 28. Sukhata kriyate Rama bhogaha paschadante sharire rogaha. Yadyapi loke maranam sharanam tadapi na manchati papacharanam. So there he is, he's summarizing. So the whole message of the Bhaja Govindam of avoiding this craving for sensual pleasure. And then the next one is Artham Anartham Bhavaya Nityam Nasti Tataha Sukhalesha Satyam Putradapi Dhana Bhajam Bhitihi Sarvatra Esha Vihita Riti. So not having an exaggerated value for wealth. So exaggerated value for money. Unnecessarily exaggerated value. And then Antaranga Sadhana, Pranayamam Pratyaharam, Nitya Nitya Viveka Vicharam, Japya Sameta Samadhi Vidhanam, Purvavadhanam Mahadavadhanam. So one has to spend time. So do all this very diligently with a lot of care and effort. And finally, the need for a teacher. So which I said, like the story in the Chandogya Upanishad. Just like the person guides him out of the forest, just like that, the guru guides this person out of the forest of samsara. So there is more description of the forest. So I have been full of all these carnivorous animals. So all these beasts, so which are out to get you. And then suddenly this person appears from nowhere. So protecting you from all these dangerous dangerous animals. So just like that, the Guru also protects this person from all these dangerous attractions. So dangerous distractions. So which pull you away from the right path and then keeps you on track and shows you the way out. So way back home, which is one's own Atma. So that is the home. So how to go back from where I came. So that is the last verse. Guru Charanam Bhuja Nirbhara Bhaktaha Sansarat Achirat Bhava Muktaha Sendriya Manasa Niyama Devam Drakshyasi Nija Hridayastham Devam. So with this, the Bhaja Govindam is over. So we'll stop here. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.